using the power of cognitive neuroscience to embrace the opportunities and address the challenges of being a cochlear implant user. Greetings from Singapore. My name is Dr. Helen Willis. I was completely deafened in both ears by meningococcal meningitis when I was 18 months old, and was incredibly lucky to be selected as the 51st child to receive a unilateral cochlear implant, a Nucleus 22 device, in Nottingham when I was 3 years old. This was back in 1994. This amazing technology gave me the opportunity to access higher education. I studied at Oxford University, St John's College, for 4 years and graduated with a first-class honours degree in Physiology and Psychology and a Master's in Neuroscience. These qualifications then enabled me to conduct PhD research at UCL to assess the cognitive challenges of listening through a cochlear implant. One challenge that has become obvious, particularly over the past decade, is that all CI users experience increased listening effort compared to their normally hearing peers. I sincerely believe that NE is the pivotal challenge that affects every single CI user who attempts to perform in the hearing world on an equal basis. In my experience, this fact is particularly evident on entry to higher education, where the cognitive challenges are designed to increase and become progressively more demanding with every year of study from degree to PhD. Listening effort is the cognitive resources required to process and understand auditory input to the brain. It's accepted that, despite the incredible advances in CI technology over the past 30 years, it is not yet possible to replicate normal hearing exactly. Therefore, there are gaps in the sound information provided to the auditory cortex. As a result, the brain has to employ compensatory strategies in order to fully understand every word that has been conveyed to the auditory cortex by the CI. This compensation has a cognitive cost. The available listening effort research, including my own, demonstrates that CI users need to continuously and perpetually use more listening effort than their hearing peers, even when they have learned to become skilled and experienced CI users. Essentially, listening effort requires cognitive resources. If the demand for cognitive resources exceeds the available capacity, a state of cognitive overload occurs. At this point, the brain will send out distress signals in the form of a stress response. Intermittent stress can be considered quite healthy because these intermittent peaks of stimulation encourage the body systems to work at their optimal efficiency. However, chronic stress causes the activation and eventual disruption of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis and can lead to a series of physical and mental health problems. Management of cognitive load in order to reduce the risk of cognitive stress is therefore one of the key challenges facing cochlear implant users. There are a series of practical measures that can be used to achieve this, which I have explained in my Go for Gold campaign. These include reducing cognitive load by golden silences, so deliberately introducing periods of quiet and mindfulness into every day. Golden opportunities, using strategies to improve the efficiency of speech processing. And gold star support, finding the best possible ways to promote learning. However, over the past 10 years, I have also been seeking other methods to manage cognitive load by using physiological and psychological interventions. This has led to professional qualifications in hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom techniques, and breath coaching. Initially, working as a stress management consultant in my own company, Soothing Stress Strategies, I found it was possible to use these techniques to help individuals, both deaf and hearing, who are suffering from consequences of chronic stress. It soon became clear that it was possible to reduce stress quickly and easily, with many clients experiencing significant improvements in their stress levels after only 3 sessions. These methods led me to question why these very different methods were so effective. Applying my knowledge of neuroscience, I soon realized that what was actually happening was natural neuromodulation. This means that it's possible to apply very specific techniques such as a different breathing pattern, to change the activation of nerve pathways to interrupt the generation of stress, thus leading to a healthy and intermittent pattern. Not only this, the reason why these techniques were working so quickly for my clients was my customization to their individual connectome. We're all wired differently. That means that the map of the neural connections in our brains, the connectome, is unique to each of us. In fact, it's as individual as our fingerprints. In recognition of this, I use a series of assessment tools to identify personality traits and sensory processing modalities, and then choose the interventions that match these individual qualities the closest, in order to reduce cognitive load and promote mental and physical health. Using these tools and techniques, I have launched my new business, the Connectome Connection, to provide a program that is suitable for anyone wishing to improve their clarity of thought, efficiency of working, and quality of sleep. My personal experience is that cochlear implantation provides the opportunity to access the hearing world and to progress within it as far as you wish to go. However, the challenge is that by taking every opportunity, by pushing yourself and stretching your physical and mental resources, especially in accessing higher education, there will come a time when you run the risk of generating chronic cognitive overload. It is impossible to predict exactly when this will happen, as every CI user will differ in their use of cognitive resources, according to the quality of auditory information provided by their implants and the very individual configuration of their individual connectome. For me, my health progressively deteriorated during my university years at Oxford and was certainly a cause for concern by the time I finished my doctorate. I was eventually diagnosed with HPA, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis dysfunction. My personal experience led to my Go for Gold campaign and also my professional training in a range of psychotherapeutic interventions to seek ways of managing cognitive load. During this process, I was able to find ways to improve my health, although it remains an ongoing challenge as I like to push the envelope in terms of what I can achieve as a CI user. Essentially, as a CI user, you need to compensate for the compensation your brain is having to make to process the sound from your speech processor. Extra cognitive load is being produced, and you need to find a way to reduce it to prevent chronic cognitive overload and the associated health risks. There is no universal one-size-fits-all solution. You just need to experiment until you find the lifestyle changes, as suggested by Go for Gold, and or the natural neuromodulation techniques that suit you best. That is your challenge. Not an easy process, but definitely worth it, because you're enabled to live in a healthy and happy partnership with your cochlear implants, both now and in your future life as a CI user. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me at helen@connectomeconnection.com. Thank you for your listening effort today.